folks. It's 33 degrees and raining. We've had a little bit of snow overnight, and it's just switched over to a very cold rain that kind of came down on top of a wet, heavy snow that's, you know, kind of seeped into this valley. We're gonna go try and catch some winter river largemouth, maybe some smallmouth. Who knows? Maybe we even tangle with a muskie. But I'm hoping for that nice big late February river largemouth. But I got a new boat that I'm testing out, and I've spent the last several days rigging. It is the Star Rival Fish. It's actually distributed by NRS. Star is one of NRS's brands of inflatables. So it's a 12-foot, 6-inch long, 3-chamber, 31 pounds, 31-pound hull. And I've rigged it up with foot control steering and the Torqeedo and a Humminbird Helix 10, and some other accessories. We get here to the launch here in a few minutes. I'll do a walkthrough and take you bow to stern and show you this rig. Alright, here's the rig. The Star Rival Fish, 31-pound hull, 12.5 feet long. I forget the width, but I do want to talk a little bit about the install job that I'm going to get into later on in this video. What made this all possible, getting the Torqeedo Ultralight 1103 AC on there with foot control steering, are these guys right here. This is a Yak Attack Switch Pad. The Star Rival Fish comes with 5 of these. One here in the center that I have my depth finder on. One here, one back there, one back there. So you have 5 of them to start with, but I needed more track. So I glued on, and I'll show how to do the installation of more of these switch pads. One back here and one in the front, so I can have my foot control steering slides and all the other Yak Attack accessory mounts. I got the Humminbird Helix 10 here, and this is a mount specific for the Helix depth finder monitors, and it's got the lock and load base. The Switchblade Transducer Arm here allows me to drop my transducer that has the side imaging down in the water. I power the whole thing with the, this is a little box that I've made for my Dakota Lithium 23 amp hour. I actually keep the charger right in there with it, so when I travel, I don't have to go searching for stuff. It has the Yak Attack through-hull wiring kit right there. So that's watertight, as is the latch. I'm going to tuck this back under there. I got an anchor off the front. It's a small, I think it's a 5-pound mushroom anchor. I was able to get the anchor wizard right here to let that down. You actually don't need a lot of weight to hold this in place because it sits on top of the water. It's you know, it's a lightweight boat to begin with, but the current that normally pushes a rotomolded boat that sits down in the water more, it doesn't push the inflatable because it sits on top of the water quite as much. Coming back, I got the kayak cushion seat on there. Here at the back, here's the 915 watt-hour battery. I got the Yak Attack, the tie downs with these the double-sided hook and loop. It's like Velcro, but that makes a nice way to secure whatever pack you have back there. Trey Leach and I, Trey from Innovative Sportsman, I took this to his shop because I wanted his thoughts and his input on how to rig this nicely. And we have the Spectra cord that steers the motor going through, and you can kind of see, I'll peel this foam back. We glued on a strip of the fabric, which is the same material the boat's made of there, and we have the tubing there. I'll show you how to do that install, and we just covered it over with some foam. The way that we got this on this adapter plate here is actually something that Trey made for the Feel Free lure. This was actually the prototype for the adapter plate for the putting the Torqeedo on a Feel Free lure. We adapted it to make it work on this boat. I put these two switch pads on there, locked in with we got mighty bolts there, and then these wing knobs. And we bent it so it comes up and then goes flat, and I attached it back here with a little bit of starboard underneath the strap handle that's there. That kind of tucks under there and keeps it, when I go in reverse, from popping up. So that's a hard connect to the handle. I just lift it by the mount now. So that's about it. Obviously I got the rock guard on there because we're in a nice rocky river, the weedless prop and the innovative Sportsman rock guard with a grass cutter. So this rig right here, when I first took it out, I got, first time taking it out, I got up to 7 miles an hour. Right out of the gate, hit 7. Was really happy with that number. Tried to recreate it a couple times. I could get it back up to 6.9, but not reliably. It really settled down at about 6.8 miles per hour. So I was very happy with that number, and I'm really happy because the inflatables, the advantages of the inflatables is that it's lightweight, it goes super shallow, you're going to draft in about that much water. That's really the biggest thing. You do have the stealth that when you run into rocks, it just kind of rubs. It doesn't go boom like a rotomolded hull. And it is riggable. You need those Yak Attack parts, and that's what the install video is. Later on in the video, I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. But let me put it on right here, and I'll show you this thing taking off and see how maneuverable it is. While we're here, we're gonna take a look at Jed's boat. Jed's fishing with me today. We just a couple weeks ago rigged his up with the Ultralight 1103. We'll get a bounce steering on his rig, and then we'll go catch some fish.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jedediah Plunkett. I'm with Wilderness Systems Pro Team. Today I'm going to review my boat. This is a Wilderness Systems Attack 140. It's over 14 feet in length. It's my preferred kayak fishing platform. I'm new to the motor game, but so far I'm really enjoying it. This is a Torqeedo 1100 03 Ultralight. On the unit I have innovative Sportsman's rock guard that they make. I have the upgraded steering triangle, which replaces the plastic unit with metal. This is a precision pack, a soft-sided pack. I still prefer these over a lot of the hard boxes, just for rigging applications, and I carry a decent amount of gear, so I can get it in there without much of an effort. This pack comes with 3 rod holders on the back, and I have 6 flush-mounted rod holders on the kayak. This clothesline retractable pulley is used for my anchor system. And it keeps the excess paracord that I use for the anchor system in place. So it just keeps the hull of the boat and the cockpit a lot more tidy and clean. Moving up, we made this little control center at a starboard. It holds the cam cleat that I use for the anchor system, and it uses the cleat that I use for the motor. This pulls it up and down out of the water, the whole unit. On this side, I have the Torqeedo throttle assembly mounted onto the flush mount. My paddle, I just ride alongside of that. It's pretty deployable, pretty fast through there. These are the slide track systems for controlling the Torqeedo unit with my feet. These replace the static assemblies that came with the kayak. This fish finder is a Lowrance hook model. I have the unit mounted on ram mount. That's a ball mount. That way you can adjust the height and the angle of it. I made this Kydex visor just to reduce the glare in the sunshine. Just with a little bit of heat and double-sided tape on that one. It does the trick. The whole assembly has, the pod has the motor, the battery and the transducer all mounted on this pod. So easy in, easy out, and I can throw it on another kayak if I need to. Wilderness Systems models. The front of the kayak, I have a paracord mounted with a stainless steel carabiner and a roller pulley, which controls my 5-pound mushroom anchor. And this is just to conceal, like a silent traction material, just to reduce the noise of the hull slap when the anchor comes up. This boat does 7.4 miles per hour with the Torqeedo, and it's a lot of fun. It definitely allows you to access a lot more water than you would without that unit. So, looking forward to continue growing with this motor and this platform, and just enjoying every day with it.
Mink right there is carrying a fish up to eat it. So someone's catching fish. Look at him. Oh, what'd you get? He was in that eddy right below and just, he ain't gonna leave that. That fish was still flopping. It's one of the cooler things that you see things out here in winter that you don't see the rest of the year. It was a mink, and I saw him bounding down this bank, and he stopped right behind this log, grabbed that fish, and dragged him up to that root ball up there, and he's just chewing on him. All right, well, I don't have my camera setup figured out on the inflatable yet, but I do have the smallmouth figured out on this hair jig. So we've come down, I don't know, maybe half, 3/4 mile. The current slowed down a little bit, and just looking in these shoreline eddies with the foam there, just flip that hair jig in there, and this one thumped it pretty good. I'm gonna get him back in and zoom back up and let Jed know I'm fine. I'm on a good spot. You know, first flip in there and dunk, fish on. Looks like Jed got one. We're just picking apart on these little shoreline eddies. I'm using a hair jig. I don't know what he's using. We're gonna find out. What'd you get him on?
I'm on a little finesse jig that I trimmed way down.
Hold him up, man.
That's a largemouth.
Nice largemouth.
Yeah. Not a bad fish.
Very cool.
So I missed one shortly before him, one of these shoreline eddies over here. But he's the first one that I connected with. He's thick. He's got some shoulders.
Very cool.
Yeah. He is 4'4".
4 1/4.
Yeah.
It's a nice fish, man.
Yeah, so this fish was on a shoreline eddy and a little bit of wood. This is actually the first fish that I've ever caught using the Torqeedo, and man, it's essential today because we have a little bit of wind, we have a lot of current. So being able to keep a little bit of positioning without, you know, getting jammed right up into these overhanging trees and whatnot, these strainers, has been it's been a chore, but I wouldn't be able to do it without it. You know, not in this much current. So good fish.
Nice going, man.
Thank you.
Goose. Down he goes.
All right.
So I'm gonna give this spinnerbait a shot. I think it's probably too cold for that to really be a thing, but you still got to try. I mean, give them, you know, on a warmer day, late winter, who knows? They might grab it. While I'm chucking the spinnerbait, let's hit rewind. Let's go back to 2 days ago when I had this on the water for the first time. I did some speed and range testing. As I mentioned before, it touched 7 and really just settled on 6.8. So I'll show you how that went, and then we'll get back to fishing. So we've got a pretty nice day here in Maryland for being the end of February. I'm gonna take this thing out and give it a try, take it for a spin. We'll be on the river in a couple days. Just want to make sure that the layout for everything is good. I am pumping it up. It has a gauge here which is pounds per square inch. You want to take the reading right at the end of your downstroke, because that's going to tell you really how many pounds per square inch it is. The middle is the most, actually it isn't as important as the tubes. The tubes is 3 psi, and you really don't want to go more than that with these, because the middle is drop stitch flooring. It says you can go 8. I've talked to someone at the manufacturer. It says you can actually go a little bit more than 8. They've actually had it all the way up to 15. So it says it right here. Maximum PSI for the floor is 8 PSI, but because it's drop stitch flooring, it can handle a lot more. I'm gonna put more. I'm gonna get up to like 12 or so. And what that's gonna do is make the floor really rigid. The rigidity of the floor is gonna translate to better performance with the Torqeedo. So I'll take it to 12, but these are already at like 2.5. I'm leaving them at that. Like I said, nice day for testing for end of February. I even have a little bit open water down there, so we'll go ahead and drag this down there, get it in the water, see what it does. First with the 403, but I also brought the 1103 to see what kind of speed and range it gets with the 3 horsepower. So, maneuverability. I believe that this is the most maneuverable boat I've ever rigged with a Torqeedo. It goes wherever you want to go. Like, quick. It's fun. All right, I've rigged up the 3 horsepower Ultralight 1103. We're going to see what kind of speeds this 31-pound hull and a 3 horsepower motor does. We'll go ahead and stomp it on there. Just an immediate throttle response. We're climbing 4.5, 6.1, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, 6.9. 6.9 miles per hour, and I think most of it is because of that lightweight hull, 31-pound hull. 6.8. It's cool. That is a quick boat. So it's quick, it's maneuverable. It only needs like that much water. You can't really quantify or understand how cool that is until you actually do it, because rotomolded kayaks, you know, in general are gonna need between 6 and 9 inches of water to float in. Don't believe me? Check your mud line on your kayak and see what, you know, see where that line is. Lay it on a flat surface and put a tape measure on it. So, also just as maneuverable with the 1103. It's a fun rig. That's just fun. Oh my god. Super fast, super maneuverable, super shallow, super stealthy. Alright, we are scooting back up to the vehicle. We did a single point access and now we're using motors to get back up against some pretty stiff current here. That's where all that efficiency comes in terms of, you know, boats that get 7.4, 6.8 miles per hour. It pays off when you're doing things like running against heavy current. It's just more efficient. So, appreciate you coming out with me, bud.
It's been a blast.
Yep. Any day that you start with snow and you don't get skunked is a good day. But I think it's time to go back to show you guys the install. I want to just go step by step through the install if you're interested in rigging a boat like this, so you can see which Yak Attack and innovative Sportsman parts made this particular rig possible. So keep watching. You can check out the step-by-step install of this Star Rival fish with the Torqeedo Ultralight 1103 AC and a whole bunch of other accessories. So before we start rigging this inflatable, I want to go over a couple hurdles you need to clear that are administrative in nature, and they involve getting registration on the boat. Now, I will tell you, I actually have an appointment with Maryland DNR, Department of Natural Resources Service Center in Frederick, Maryland. They're good folks there, and they will help you out, but they need a certain amount of documentation to prove that you're the rightful owner of the vessel. The things that they need to see. This is a manufacturer's statement of origin or manufacturer's certificate of origin. I got this directly from NRS, and it's something that the manufacturer should provide with the boat. If you have a boat that you don't have that, you should be able to contact the manufacturer and get that manufacturer's statement of origin. I will tell you that with inflatables, unlike, you know, fiberglass or rotomolded kayaks, you can't just go to the hardware store on the way home or wherever you get, you know, marine supplies and get these type decals that you just slap on there. You have to get a special made plate. I've tried putting these on inflatables, they peel right off. So there's a website here, and I just picked one of many that are available. This one, let me see if I can zoom in on it. And I will tell you just briefly, once I get it's not really a decal, it's a piece of fabric that has your numbers printed on there. You're going to glue it onto the hull of the boat, much in the same way that we're going to glue these Yak Attack Switch Pads to be able to rig it, to have the track and everything. You glue this surface on there, and then I can do all the rigging. It's going to be a piece of, I guess it's PVC, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, Hypalon. I'm not sure what they printed on, but I've done it before a couple times. Well, I think last time it was on the Sea Eagle Fish Gift 16. And you need to get your registration numbers first, and then you enter it in. You're gonna buy it online. This one's called boatnumberplate.com, and I will go to the online store. As you go here, you can click on for inflatable boats, and you get a set of custom, those are nameplates, the boat number plates. This is what I want. It's $46. It's pretty expensive compared to just getting I don't know, what are these, 10 or 12 bucks at Home Depot or Lowe's. But it's the right thing to do, and we will go ahead and add that to the cart. And I won't take you through all of that, but I will just point out that this is part of the process of registering an inflatable. And I will go ahead and do that and wait to get those mailed to me after I get my registration numbers, redeem the code, give them my registration numbers, and then I will glue it on, much like we glue on the switch pads. I may or may not have all the parts I need here. We'll see. But this build is going to be, we're going to do an inflatable. We're going to put the Torqeedo Ultralight 403 AC on this NRS Rival Fish. The way that we're going to mount this mounting bracket on there uses a combination of things. A Yak Attack Switch Pad flexible mount. So this is the first part of this that I'm going to tackle, and really all I'm trying to do, I'm going to move this off of it so I can show you how much I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I need this to be in that position, and the back of it curves up. This is from there to there is probably, is it a 3-inch rise? Maybe 2.5. And this curved up surface, if I mount it flat to it, the motor is going to be angled back too far. So I'm sort of thinking through this, thinking how I'm going to use these switch pads in different arrangements to get a good, and I pretty much know I'm not going to be able to use that handle, so I don't know. I also don't want to block my, this is how I pump it up. This is access to this is important. So, and I've done custom plates for this kind of stuff in the past. If you look at some of my older videos of the Crescent Kayak and the Native Watercraft, and I've done a bunch of different starboard plates. And maybe that's where I end up. You know, I do have the adjustability feature of coming forward with these pins. Maybe I do it flat. All right, I've played around with a lot of different sort of positioning things, and I actually think the biggest challenge is going to be getting this propeller low enough. This boat is super lightweight. It's going to sit on top of the water, not down in it. So getting that prop deep enough is going to be, might be a real challenge. And I don't really have those even, but I will glue these on, say, there and there, obviously centered. Have this mounting bracket back here, and it's going to be angled a little bit forward. I think I can work with that. But what I need is a starboard piece. I'm going to use this piece right here. I'll cut it out. And it'll basically, you know, think of it like a Mickey Mouse ears. You know, one ear up here, an opening so that you can access this, the valve, another ear here, and then the main head, if you will, the main part, just so I can get hardware for those 4 bolts in there. So Mickey Mouse design. All right, let's go build it. So I'll just use, I'm gonna even this up, but I'm gonna use cardboard as a form to figure out what I really want, and then I can figure out the best way to cut it out of the piece of starboard that I got. All right. I will for sure not want that much material there, but that's a start, and I will see. I think I want to tuck this in as close as I can to keep it low and not have it hanging way out. So I'll trim a little bit there. Actually, where I originally had it. And I don't want this to be crazy heavy. So I will for sure trim the sides. And then somewhere in here, yep, we gotta cut that space out. That'll do it. That reaches way up, locks onto that, gives me access to that, and gives me somewhere in here to put the bracket. There are no doubt better ways to score it, but this will get me to where I want to be. All right, so I only got as far as doing a very rough cut with the starboard, and I stuck it on there and I said, I've seen this shape before. It occurred to me it's pretty much the same shape that Trey Leach made with the Feel Free Lure adapter plate. Now, this is actually the prototype of the one that we did. Shoot, it's been two and a half years since we did this. It needed a little bit of bending, which Trey was able to, put that in the vise and get it on there. And if you can see, it actually lines up pretty nicely with giving a flat surface to mount that on, so that I have that motor hanging straight up and down. So that's what I'm going to go with. The starboard would have done the trick, but I think this is a cleaner look. I am going to look at getting some other pieces in there to lock into this handle as well. We'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm just using a combination of Mighty Bolts, and these are actually like Low Pro wing knobs, but they're the bigger ones that come with the Omega Pro rod holders. I just had some extras, so I'm gonna give that plenty of purchase there. And I have not glued these switch pads on, but I'm just sort of mapping out how things are going to look on here. Give myself plenty to work with. And I'm still at the position where I can move these around, and we'll go over gluing them down here in a little bit. Once I get the mount put on there, I've just used the hardware that comes with the Torqeedo mount, get that on there, and see if I like the layout before I start using the glue. All right, I've got this centered. So this is where I want it. I'm in the middle of this little slat. If I tighten down, it's right in the middle. I got good purchase here. I got them as far forward as I can get and as wide as I can get, and it really get a good grip there. So I'll go ahead and mark a couple spots with the Sharpie, and then I'll know I'm in the right position to glue these into place, which I'll do next. So I'm gonna set this aside and just go over the process for gluing. You want to make sure you have a clean surface there, and you want to sand both sides. I'm going to sand the inside of the Yak Attack Switch Pad. I'll do that in many different directions, diagonally in both directions, up and down this way, and crossways. I'm going to do the same thing once I have the area that I'm going to have it glued to taped out. So I'm going to go ahead and do my painter's tape outline of these switch pads first, and then I'll do all the sanding. But that's the process. All right, I got them all taped up. I'll go ahead and do my sanding. On this, it's going to get pretty good grip because you got a couple seams here. Like I said before, with the bottom side of the switch pad, just the same way, you want to go in multiple directions. Really give that adhesive a lot to grip. Do your edges. And more scratches you get in there, the deeper the gouges are, and I'm using 120 grit sandpaper, it just gives more places where that glue really gets a lot of grip. All right, I already put the far side one on there. Let's go ahead and do this one. Like I said, it's already sanded up, and we got 2 to 5 minutes from when we put the even coat on there on both sides to just set up a little bit, and then we mash them together. That's it. Do the bottom side of the switch pad. I'm kind of scooching it in that little crack there. And all these little hardware backings, just making sure everything gets as filled as it can be, and then just kind of coating the rest of it, and then we wait. While we're waiting, the remaining, I don't know, 90 seconds or so, let's walk over here and see where I'm doing one other. So this is where my foot control steering is going to be. I've set it up, but this one isn't glued on yet. So I'll be doing this one next, but I wanted to show you, this is part of the foot control steering kit from Innovative Sportsman. These are the 90-degree adapters. And I've already put my cleat and my tie-down eyelet in there. I'll do the same thing on the other side for another one of these sliding foot pegs, but I have to glue that one on. This one's already on. What it came as was just this pad, and you can get the Mighty Mount switch and put that on there like that, and make sure you use the shorter hardware. It gives you longer hardware like that. If you push that through there, you will actually puncture a hole in that. So use the short ones. So, all right, I think I'm approaching that maybe 5-minute mark. And put that in the tripod. And line it up on my tape job. And I'm pushing down in the center first, and then I'm using my thumb to kind of work outward, just hopefully pushing any bubbles I got in there to the edge. Work out a little further. That little downturn is a tough one. I may have to hold that one for a minute while I work around the outer perimeter. And really, once you're done with this stage, you can go straight to taking your tape off, and that just allowed you to have real clean lines. But while this is, I'll get the rest of that later. While this is setting up, you just want to keep pressure on there. Keep pushing until you think it's set up. I won't put the mount on here for quite some time, a couple hours anyways, maybe tomorrow, but I know they're in the right position. So let's jump in to show you how to create the track that I have the foot control steering slides on. And it really comes down to, you already had a pad here, but you needed to add the Mighty Mount switch. I'm gonna delineate between two Yak Attack products. One is the Switch Pad flexible mount. One is the Mighty Mount switch. The switch is really just the thing that fits on top of, and I've already put one on there, but on top of an existing pad. The Star Rival fish comes with these pads, but not necessarily the Mighty Mount switch. So I've already put that on there using the short hardware, not the long, because you don't want to puncture a hole in this with the long one, because if you keep turning the screws there, it eventually will dig into that and cause a hole. So short hardware, put the switch on there, but on the front, to connect it, I need the switch pad flexible mount. So say once I glue that on there, I still need to put this on there. So the way that we do that, and I'll go ahead and lay it across with, what is this, 16, I think this is 16-inch GearTrac. We lay it across there, and I'm actually going to use this to kind of space and figure out. I'm looking across at the other one. Looks like I was partway through this fourth loop. So that's going to go roughly about there. And the reason I spaced it there is, and I'm going to do this over at the bench, but I'm going to drill a hole like these, but as far inward as I can, because what's going to come through there is I'm going to drill that hole through there, and this mighty bolt is going to come up through there, and the mighty bolt is going to sit down in there in the Mighty Mount switch. That will go on top of it, and then this that came with the 90-degree adapter, or you can use a low pro wing knob, whatever knob you prefer, just slides on there with this the track with the hole you drilled in between. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, set my positions for these front switch pad flexible mounts, and glue that on there and complete the foot control steering. All right, the track here is in progress. I'm taking a break from it. You can see that I'm just continuing inward. I got another switch pad planned to go in back there, just so I can have enough for my my foot peg slides, and then other stuff there. Maybe the Torqeedo throttle mount there. I got the anchor wizard. I'll probably get somewhere in that area, and then continue wrapping that up. As we come back here, this is cured enough, I feel secure, just to fit what I'm doing here. I'm gonna put this in the tripod and hopefully show you what I got going on here. Right now, as it stands, I have a good secure base for going forward, which it's going to torque downward. But if I wanted to use reverse, it's really going to hop up. So I'm utilizing the handle here, the handle strap, and just this piece of starboard. And really I'm making sort of a lever that I'm going to secure with this hardware but I got to drill a hole through this starboard piece and through this part of the mount. If I can do that and really secure it on there, I think I'm going to have something that, you know, has that critical third attachment point there. So we will go ahead and get a hole drilled through this piece of starboard and the mount. Okay. And we'll drop this down in there, and hopefully that will seat well. Got my lock washer there. And we should have a pretty good, you know, third secure attachment point, which really just plays on leveraging that existing handle. So you use what you have that's existing, and you just create more attachment points. That one, once I tighten it all up, will be another good third secure attachment point. And you know, the way it's in there, it doesn't interfere with my what's going to be lift line and reverse lock. So if you've paid attention to how these style of boats have been marketed in the past, and I'll throw out, well, I won't even name brands, but there's a lot of really good high quality inflatables out there. They've all been marketed as something that, here's something that you can inflate when you get to where you're going, use it, deflate it, and, you know, pack it in the back of your vehicle, and, you know, or you can use it as as something that you would, you know, deflate, uses, you know, check it as a bag and fly somewhere and use, and that's cool. That's a very useful thing. And right now, putting all this track on here, I'm kind of destroying that feature. I don't really care. It's never how I'm going to use it. I don't think I'm going to pack this up and fly somewhere and use it. My thinking on what's so great about these inflatables is that you have something that is lightweight, that is quiet when it bumps into rocks, that, you know, you can drag into a lot of these creative access areas that, you know, have some of the best fishing around. I guess what I'm getting at is I'm going to inflate this thing and leave it. I'm never going to deflate it, pack it up, and take it somewhere. Now, it did come with a bag that you can do that, and probably in that bag I'm going to use it as a backpack and throw all my tackle in there, and have that on my back and be dragging this thing through the woods behind me. My point is that I think in marketing it as something that every time you use it, you blow it, and you blow it up and you tear it down. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. It's not that useful to me as someone who owns a pickup truck and just goes wherever with that pickup truck and drags boats through the woods. It's just not how I'm going to use it. So all this track makes it very riggable, very useful. Makes it so you can't pack it up and, you know, take it somewhere, but I'm okay with that. The advantages of the stealth of it not banging into rocks and spooking fish, and utility of it being lightweight, and being able to carry in spots far outweigh the limited utility for me of deflating it at the end of the day. I'm just not going to do it. So one thing that may not be as obvious in this is why I didn't just center the whole track, the sliding foot peg, on the track that's here. Well, I measured my leg length in relation to where the seat is, and really my range of motion for my leg length shouldn't be here. It needs to be here. So if you look at the tracks, the foot peg slides in. I won't slide it in because I want to show you. I've placed another hole here such that when I put it on there, it's not here, but it's here. And having two good contact points here and here is enough. Just the fact that this overhangs, is not a big deal. It actually affords me a little more track space closer to the seat where I would want to put some accessories. I'm not sure what that would be. I know I still have a lever lock anchor trolley to put on. I got a transducer, switchblade arm transducer. I got all kinds of stuff to put on here yet, but having that extra track is a good thing, and having my the correct range of motion out in front with the seat as far forward as possible is a good thing in terms of efficiency with the Torqeedo. And again, all I'm doing is putting the Yak Attack 90-degree adapter, the lock and load adapter onto the track with some 80/20 quarter-inch hardware, stainless, and I'm using the knob from that to attach to the mighty bolt, and that allows me to, and I'm going to loosen this up so I can slide in. These are actually the top loading GearTrac, so actually it should, if I give it enough, yeah, top loading is good stuff, so I don't have to slide it in, but I can slide this to where it needs to be, and then I got one more to put right there, and then foot control steering slides are in. All right, I've had some good progress the last day or so. I'm here with Trey. He's going to help me with the next stage of this, which is, we have the foot control steering set up here, and we're going to run it. We're going to run the tubing along this seam right here, going all the way back to here, and then the Spectra cord's going to go through there and connect to the Night Eyes S-Beaner. So there's our tubing. We're basically going to bury it, and we found some little pads to stick on there to really secure it down there tightly. And then this is, what'd you call this stuff?
It's EVA foam or marine mat, sea deck, whatever you want to call it. It's all EVA foam, and okay. It's used a lot on boat decks and everything.
So I think it'll look nice there, and it'll just cover up the fact that we have tubing right in that crease. So we'll go ahead and cut out the right length and get it on there.
Let's make it look good.
All right. Sections of tubing I'm trying to use to mash down on either side to really get this to seal in there good, and I'll hold that for a minute. Hopefully that lets that glue really grab hard. It should have some it'll have a little bit of tug. I just don't want this end of the tubing walking that way as it's angling up with the Spectra cord. So That's what I'm trying to prevent by getting a good seal. While this is setting up, we'll go ahead and run our SpectraCord through there. And I've already done the other side. I can tell you that this is a lot easier than putting it through a rotomolded kayak where you got to mushroom out the end, and sometimes it just doesn't want to come out clean. But in this case, if I have enough slack, it comes out pretty readily. All right. And we'll just do our usual knot that we do up here. Give myself plenty of room, and I'll make those adjustments once I'm on the water, but we'll leave it, say about there. All right, we get good rotation there. Everything's clearing the way it should. Now it's just time to seal up seal all that up. You're measuring out the right width?
Yep.
Okay. Let's be nice and clean. I'll probably cut out this section as I like the logo. Looks good. But that will it'll be nice too for when you put a black pack right there when it slide around. I know you have these here for that purpose that you can bungee it all, but having a little bit extra grip is going to be nice too.
We're cutting out the foam to go around the D-rings in the inflatable. This foam cuts a lot like a softwood, so I'm using a hole saw to do so. Just makes a really clean, finished hole.
All right, you got this on there. That's a drain, and I don't totally get it, but I can see through there. It's like a mesh. It's like a, I don't know, water goes through there. It's like a scupper. Got our D-rings exposed. We got a place for the logo to shine through, and we're covering up this stuff. So, you ready?
I guess.
You said you want to start at the middle and work out.
No, I meant middle and work out this way.
Gotcha.
I would say if we line the big hole up, gotta go towards you a little. You should be pretty close, huh? Just check everything else.
I think
gotta come back.
Yeah.
These are the critical. What do you think?
It's gotta come all the way. Just. Yep. Yep. All right. Let's see. Right down the center.
EVA foam or marine mat. It has a few different names, but it's EVA foam is the type of foam that it is.
So we've had quite a bit of progress here in a short amount of time. We got the we got the foot control steering done in here and cleaned up. We got the EVA foam put in, and just right here at the end, I found a way to get the anchor wizard on there. It's on the track. It goes forward, goes through a Yak Attack tie-down eyelet. I actually put one on the end here because it was rubbing as I was trying to run that corner. Found a little D-ring and some of this, this webbing, and I got the 5-pound mushroom anchor there, so that puts down pretty nicely. And I like being able to crank it right next to my seat. It's just a good leverage, and that comes up pretty clean. But having this close, and then we actually used your flush mount Torqeedo throttle mount, which I like because it keeps it low. Certain boats, like the Bonafide, the Yak Attack one is better, but I like it close to the seat, which with my paddle stroke, I don't want it too high. So that flush mount Torqeedo throttle mount is in good shape. So what's left, I'm gonna head home, and I got the transducer from my Humminbird Helix 10 that we actually pulled off the John boat we did last summer. Yep. I'm gonna put that together with the Switchblade Transducer Arm from Yak Attack, and I'll probably attach it here or there, and that way when I want my depth finder, what's nice is we already have a switch pad there, and I can put the lock and load base there and just put my existing Helix 10 that I moved from boat to boat to boat, drop it right there. So good progress, and we're getting close to done. Appreciate your help, man.
Yep, I'm excited to see it go.
It'll go. All right, well, it was great to get this thing out on the water yesterday and test the functionality of the foot control steering. Real happy with the flooring, and I did test out the Anchor Wizard a little bit, and 6.8 miles per hour is, I'm really happy with it. The next step, the next thing we're gonna do with this is to set up the depth finder. And I have a Humminbird Helix 10 that I move from boat to boat to boat. What's gonna make this a possible install with regards to getting the transducer, and it's a pretty hefty one there, in the water, is this Switchblade Transducer Arm from Yak Attack. So I've done one of these before on another inflatable, on the Sea Eagle Fish Skiff 16. I'm probably gonna hang it off. I'm gonna attach it to the track, the GT175 on this side, drop it down, and that way I can reach forward, flip it up, and get it out of the water when I'm going fast. So I am going to be reusing the Dakota Lithium 23 amp hour I have in the Otter box here, that I've used the Yak Attack through-hole wiring kit and the Yak Power pigtails here to connect to. I already have this one wired with the male to the female, so not a whole lot to do, but I will be mounting it here in the center with a lock and load base and the Yak Attack Helix depth finder mount. So let's jump in and start with getting the transducer on this transducer arm. That's going to require a little bit of DIY. One difference I am doing is they give you the mighty bolt and the low pro wing knob to put it on the track, but I actually grabbed a longer mighty bolt, and I'm gonna attach multiple things to it. I already have that space used up, and I'm just sort of doubling up on what I have there. That way I've got a little bit more extra track here I can use for other things if I need it. Part of the adjustability of the Switchblade arm transducer is that you have the ability to set the right depth by cutting this, and I'm about to cut this. This intermediate arm I actually took off because I didn't need to swing that wide. The track where I'm attached is right next to where I need the transducer in the water. So I took that piece out and I'm measuring. I want to make sure that my side image signal can clear in both directions, but you know, the way it was much deeper than I needed it to be. So I think I'm gonna take it to about there and cut. I'm gonna cut it to right there. So to check the tension, you want to have the right tension so that if you're going along and something hits the transducer here, that it can kick up in this direction. But the other part is that you want this adjustment right here loose enough that when you want to go fast and you'll have the transducer down there, you want to be able to swing that top side out of the way, and then you can go fast. All right, I did a little adjustment to the arm on this just to get it further back away from me. I didn't like it up as high as it was. You can see we got power with the Dakota Lithium battery back here. I've run the cord, you know, the only thing I don't like about this is there's nowhere really to hide this cord. It's just gonna sit here underneath this deck rigging coiled up. I really didn't use all of the parts in the Switchblade arm transducer mount, but I got what I needed out of it. I can swing it up out of the way if I'm gonna move. And then I can drop it back down there. If it hits something, well, from this position it's hard, but it will kick up. So we got eyes. So I've made a lot of progress in the last couple days rigging this boat, and we're gonna be on the water tomorrow with it, and I feel like I need to stop. I need to stop rigging, just assess it out how it is instead of keep going and put everything on here I possibly can. A couple ideas that, you know, I still want to investigate. Getting some more of the switch pads on there so I can have track back here. This valve's in the way, so I gotta think through it. I may just put a switch pad there so I can have a rod holder. But I did, you know, think about it and said, hey, I have this length here just to lay rods right down along my side. And that one seems happy. I gotta see if this is enough. If I can get by with 3 rods tomorrow, 1 forward and 2 pointed back, just laying along there, may be a good thing. At some point, I don't know. I have it if I need it, but the lever lock anchor trolley is something that may be really important with this boat moving forward because it's an inflatable, because it sits high on the water instead of in it. Wind is something you really have to address. And I have the anchor off the front. That's a good thing. But I know I gotta go find it before I go tomorrow, but a 6-foot parking pole. I'll probably get a lock and load base on there and get a Zuka tube and just be able to drop wherever I put it. I'm probably going to put it up there to be able to drop that parking pole in there just to keep the boat from swinging in the wind. So I got enough ideas, you know, that I want to play around with it later, but for now I think the smart move is just to stop, fish in it for a day, maybe a couple days, and just kind of let it sink in. get used to the boat and decide, hey, this makes sense or this doesn't make sense. I will put my black pack here. I did put something here because I'm going to have a strap going across here, just to be able to tie everything down here and not have to really mess with the D-rings there. So should be good to go tomorrow. Looking forward to it.